are being called to come together
to heal, clothe and feed ourselves.
without it costing the earth.
It's time to choose courage over comfort.
To acknowledge those who came before us.
To reconnect with our whenua.
To preserve life for our mokopuna.
To give voice to those who cannot speak.
And collaboratively redesign our food and fibre systems.
To work in harmony with nature.
And support the transition.
By listening to those on the ground.
Our farmers.
Our stewards of the land.
By empowering rangatahi to have a seat at the table.
And a bright future in the industry.
We rely on nature and on farmers.
For the food we eat.
And everything we use.
It's important that these return to the earth.
Our future is in jeopardy and we can see the end of the road.
But it doesn't have to be this way.
We're forging a new path for a healthy, prosperous future in food and fibre.
We believe that what unites us
is so much more important than what divides us.
It's time we move forward together. I am a future farmer.
I'm a future farmer. I am a future farmer.
We are future farmers!
Farmers are at the mercy of volatile commodity prices, convoluted supply chains, razor-thin margins, droughts, floods, and everything in between. We're also on the front line of humanity's greatest challenge, the climate crisis. The issues we face today are like none ever experienced before, and our current systems are no longer fit for purpose. Agriculture makes up half of our national emissions, and New Zealand has the highest proportion of threatened endangered species of any country on the planet. New Zealand has pesticide levels in our children 2 to 7 times higher than the United States, and up to 800,000 Kiwis may have increased bowel cancer risk due to nitrates in our water. New Zealand loses 192 million tonnes of topsoil per year, and valuable ecosystems like the Canterbury podocarp forest, which once stood right here, exist at less than 2% of their original extent. Strong wool, the commodity that helped build our nation, is now often burnt or buried due to low prices. And dairy farm debt is up 400% in the last 2 decades to 40 billion. So although yes, export earnings are up and the sector's a strong employer, the reality is we fail on virtually every other metric. However, our food and fibre sector also contains the solutions to the great environmental and social challenges we collectively face. We need deep, meaningful change.
Future farmers are united youth reimagining society to heal our world with food and fibre. We represent a diverse group from all walks of life, from on-the-ground farmers to researchers and entrepreneurs spanning across sectors and all major political parties. We believe that if we can reconcile on policies, the rest of New Zealand can too. Our group of 30 young people have spent 2 years debating, picking apart positions, and questioning underlying beliefs to develop our manifesto for the future of farming in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We have created something comprehensive and robust in the context of leading science and policy frameworks to build a future sector that is healthy, resilient, and profitable. We understand that there is no silver bullet to the challenges we face, which is why our manifesto highlights 7 key themes we believe are essential to address in unison with detailed policy recommendations under each. First is land use, design, and management. Land use in New Zealand has for too long been pushed toward a one-size-fits-all approach. Examples of this include the significant expansion of intensive dairy systems on unsuitable land over the past 30 years, and productive fertile soil in different regions being buried under housing. We must consider the long-term implications of how we manage landscapes and invest in future-proofing our systems ahead of time, rather than reactively responding to challenges and market prices. We want to see an ongoing strategic land use modelling exercise with strategic oversight that takes into account future market trends, climatic conditions, and environmental limits to make sure we are doing the right things in the right places. This could be built on existing work, such as Our Land and Waters Whiriwhiri project and the new data supermarket. Second is knowledge and education. Education is the foundation on which change is built. It is critical that we reconnect and empower all Kiwis to understand how ecosystems function and where our food and resources come from, in the same way we learn to read and write. This should go hand in hand with creating more clear career pathways into industry and supporting land managers through digestible science and by valuing local knowledge. We want to see ecological literacy embedded in the curriculum at all levels of schooling, and additional investment in existing programs like Farmer Time and Open Farms.
Third is forestry and carbon credits. Forestry is the largest lever New Zealand has to mitigate and adapt to climate change. There's a significant opportunity to turn Kiwi farms into a net carbon sink, with sheep and beef farms alone making up 40% of New Zealand's landmass. Farmers can be our best allies in the climate and biodiversity fight. The way we price emissions and sequestration are critical elements that will define our landscapes for generations to come. We want to see more incentives available to farmers for enhancing biodiversity and increasing carbon sequestration, alongside the requirement of a native forestry transition plan or harvest plan in order for exotic trees to be planted. Fourth is supply chain and innovation. Kiwis produce fantastic food and fibre products. However, the global economy is shifting. We have to ensure we adapt ahead of consumer preferences to maintain market access. Resources are becoming rarer, and there's several signs that our farm-to-gate commodity approach is cracking. We will not maintain our social licence if New Zealanders continue to go hungry, which is why we would like to see the creation of a national food strategy and embracing relocalisation to sit alongside our export system. Fifth is farm management. We must balance a tremendous amount of knowledge we've inherited from past generations with the realisation that the world in which we now farm is completely different. New Zealand must reduce our reliance on imports and seriously question the social and environmental cost of imported palm kernel and mined phosphorus. Additionally, regulatory reporting is time-consuming and complex for farmers, which is why we would like to see all regulatory reporting, both the central and local government, enabled through various existing farm software tools as part of farm environment plans. This will prevent the doubling up of paperwork for farmers. Sixth is markets and finance. Many Kiwi farmers carry high loads of debt, and changing land use can be financially risky. Mechanisms need to be in place to support farmers, to diversify, and to innovate. We need to align market mechanisms to account for environmental costs and benefits. For example, by putting a price on petroleum fibre sales to account for plastic pollution. This would increase the uptake of natural fibres in building materials, such as carpets and insulation.
And the final theme is hauora, holistic wellness in agriculture. We have seen the extensive rise in mental health challenges in our sector, and as compounding pressures build, people are reaching breaking point. We believe a start to addressing the roots of these challenges comes from embracing the Māori wellbeing model, Te Whare Tapawhā, which describes wellbeing as a wharenui with 4 walls: spiritual, mental, physical, and social well-being. Our connection with the whenua forms the foundation, and when all of these are in balance, we thrive. The well-being of our land rests on the well-being of our land managers, so it is crucial that we consider all of these pillars and invest in our rural communities. We would like to see New Zealand increase access to professional health services, rolled out through a rural mental health strategy that can be built on existing programs like Farm Strong and Rural Change. The last few years have become increasingly polarised for our food and fibre sector. However, we must all realise that what unites us is so much more important than what divides us. New Zealand has brilliant people, our farmers, scientists, innovators, all of you here today. We have a green reputation on a global stage, built on the quality products we produce, and importantly, we have a blueprint for stewardship in Mātauranga Māori. No country is better suited than Aotearoa to lead the world in a new era of agriculture. Together, we can address these 7 key themes and reignite hope and pride in farming by restoring the health and the bonds between people and the land we love. If what you heard today seems too hard, remember, all great advances in society have at once seemed impossible. Our aim as Future Farmers New Zealand is to shine a light on our path to build a more healthy, resilient, and profitable food and fibre sector. We ask industry and government to listen, engage, and give us a seat at the table. Join us and let's get to work. Thank you.